The National Cancer Institute lists radon as the second leading cause of lung cancer behind smoking. And much of our hometowns are at risk for this colorless and odorless gas. Dr. Philip Agee with the Virginia Center for Housing Research joins us now in studio with some important information about radon and what homeowners can do to prevent exposure. Welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, and this is such an important issue. You know, we were talking about carbon monoxide as well, and then now this radon, which is, like I mentioned, it's colorless, odorless, so you can't really detect it. So tell us a little bit about radon and what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Natalie. Thanks for the opportunity to spend some time with you. So radon, as you mentioned, is a colorless, odorless gas that's naturally occurring. It comes from decaying uranium, thorium, and radium, so effectively rocks decaying under us. And the fact that, you know, the geology and we're in contact, our buildings are in contact in the ground, and we spend so much time indoors, that's where the real risk is in the indoor environment. We actually can have exposure to very small concentrations of it. If we walked out in the parking lot, we would measure very small concentrations, but it's the higher concentrations indoors and the amount of time we spend indoors that really lead to the problems that we have.
Yeah, so you say it's naturally occurring, so how does it get into our homes?
Yeah, absolutely. So the same phenomenon that makes your chimney work with a fireplace, you know, the draft, temperature difference and a pressure difference, effectively, because our foundations are in contact with the ground where the radon is decaying, or, you know, occurring from decaying different rocks and different geologies, it effectively drafts into the house the same way your chimney does, right? So we'll actually observe and measure higher concentrations of radon in the wintertime than we would in the summertime. And, you know, if any of us have ever tried to start a fire in the summertime, it doesn't work that well. It's because of the temperature difference between indoors and outdoors.
Interesting. Okay, so let's talk about the best way to detect it, because like we mentioned, we can't see it, we can't smell it, so how do we know that we have it in our homes?
Yeah, exactly. It's not like a plumbing leak or a roof leak where you see the stain, right? So, but it, you know, we have the tests to go out there. You can go to any home improvement store and spend $15 and get a short-term test that'll let you know if you have radon at the action level that the EPA calls the action level. You know, understanding that folks might not want to spend $15. The Virginia Department of Health provides radon kits to Virginians if you pay for the $4 of shipping. So you can go to vdhradon.org and receive you know, pay for the shipping, and then they'll send you a radon kit out. So just testing is the first step, and anytime you're buying a new home or you're doing a renovation, or maybe if you just haven't tested it, it's worthwhile to do that test.
Yeah, in a while. Yeah, I remember when we first bought our home, we had it tested because I think it was part of our, when we went and got it inspected. Yeah. But it's been a while, and like you said, it could change over time. And I understand that our area, we're really susceptible to radon, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So different parts of the state have different risk or levels of concentrations. But even in counties that are considered to be lower risk, you could still be in a location that has higher concentration. So, you know, you mentioned at the time of your home inspection, it's an option to add that test where a licensed professional can come in and do the test. But, you know, I understand, just like when we've bought a house, there's a lot going on, right? So just making people aware that it's a good idea to have somebody test it if you don't test it yourself. But just, you know, that knowledge and understanding, if you have high concentration, then you can take the next step of mitigation.
Right. I was going to say, there is something that you can do if you do have high levels. And what is the process?
Absolutely. So if you detect beyond 4 picocuries per liter per hour, let's see you meet the threshold, right?
Yeah, okay.
Then the next step is effectively to hire a licensed professional, a radon mitigation professional, and they come in and assess the construction type that you have. And based off the foundation, if you have a crawl space or a basement, they'll make suggestions. Effectively, what we're going to do is depressurize under your slab or your crawl space plastic and effectively draw the radon gas out from the house and then exhaust it above your roof.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean,
essentially making a path for it to leave.
Exactly. So you might, you know, next time you're looking at a house in this area, you might see a white PVC pipe on the outside. They can be inside the house, but effectively that is penetrating below the foundation into the soil, drawing that radon gas up through the pipe and then exhausting it, you know, beyond the roof. And those, depending on your construction type and the housing type, and how big the house is, that can cost anywhere from $800 to mitigate, or maybe $2,000. It's a range. So
Yeah,
you just have to check into that.
But well worth it, because the health effects can be really detrimental.
Absolutely, and like a lot of indoor air quality or a lot of pollutants, it's not necessarily just about the poison, it's about the dose. So we spend about 90% of our lives indoors, even those of us that love to be outdoors, just from the amount of time that you sleep and work and go to school. We spend a lot of time indoors.
Yeah, well, great information. And of course, we have the link if you want to order that kit over on our website at WDBJ7.com. Thank you so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Natalie.
Okay. Well, Valentine's Day is a time to celebrate love, and more people